So let's set up a really nice, cool atmosphere for today's reading. We're going to do a reading for February 2025. And here we have some of this perfumed wood. Ever tried this? And so for the first spread, I've got some small pack of major arcana cards here, and we're going to get the questions. Then we'll look for some answers. Please give us questions for February 2025. And we want these to be upright because they're just questions. Okay, now we decide what the questions are going to be. Empress, where is growth in February? Tower, what needs to be purged? Lovers, what needs to be decided? And Wheel of Fortune, what might feel like it's out of control, beyond our control, depending on how you want to conceptualize that. So let's take some of these very nice Keishobu cards and ask, okay, please give us 4 answers to the 4 questions for February 2025. Okay, lots of people. We have the King of Cups, a Knight of Coins, reverse 10 of Cups, reverse King of Coins. So let me just talk and let's see what comes through as I just open my mouth to speak. That's fairly clear. Where is growth? Growth comes through self-mastery in the month of February. Yet in the month of February, there seems to be a kind of a disturbance around the practicalities of life, perhaps the financial side of life. We've got a Knight of Coins answering the Tower. I read all cards positively, and I see the Tower as a purging of the unwanted, of what's kind of you could say sort of psychological toxins, things that are niggling, things that are draining us, subconscious or semi-conscious factors which need to be brought out, brought to light, maybe experienced in events, in fate, as Jung would say, and so that can be understood, brought to light and healed. And that's around Knight of Coins. Now, Knight of Coins is about practicalities, and he's about keeping things solid, and he's about being present in the real world, and making sure the heating is working, and making sure, I suppose, that bills are being paid as well. So it seems that there might be a sort of what you might call a profitable or therapeutic disturbance in the practicalities of life, maybe in the finances of life during the month of February. And across the table from that card, we have a reversed King of Coins in La Roue de Fortune, in the Wheel of Fortune. Now, I framed this question as what seems to be or what is out of control or beyond our control. So King of Coins as our not exactly bank manager, he's more of our someone who invests in us. So it's influx of supportive money. Now that feeling of influx of supported money, the money that, or the material support or the material circumstances that in an ideal world we want, need and deserve, that feels like it's out of control in the month of February. So those 2 cards feel disturbing. Now, I think I want to resolve this diagonal with that diagonal. What's happening here with a reversed 10 of Cups? What do we need to decide? Well, That's the happiness. That is, in a sense, that's how we conceptualize happiness, how happiness might be brought about in the future, where our happiness lies. It's a goal, it's a rainbow, isn't it, the Ten of Cups? So here we have, what our rainbow, where our rainbow isn't, what isn't our rainbow, what isn't our destination. That needs to be decided. So something needs to be ruled out. Now, what I'm hearing here is that if we're going to be shaken up and challenged and maybe even made to feel a bit alarmed or concerned about our material security, our material backup, our material foundation, and if that's all for the good, if that is a purging, and if that's going to make us clearer about ourselves, I think in the process of that, we are going to be asked to decide where our happiness isn't. So what I'm getting is that these three cards add up to a kind of risk-taking, by which I mean a kind of breaking free, or being forced to break free, being sort of cut loose from the ties that bind us to a safe life. The words that come into my mind are wage slave, being tied to goals and dreams and ideas of material security, which may be in some ways toxic, whatever toxic means. In some ways might be an illusion, might be not quite where our rainbow is. And I think, let's go back to the Imperatrice, this lovely lady with all her bounty and all her pomegranates on her dress. That's growth, and that's fruitfulness, isn't it? And that's the future. If I may use the word, that is the next generation of us. The next manifestation of us. That's what we give birth to, and here we see the Empress being answered by the King of Cups, the card of self-mastery. The King of Cups has gone through these purgings and knows who he or she is, and knows about their strong points, and is on top of their emotions, and I think can function wisely and in a way that is creative and loving. So I think what I'm getting is kind of like fasten your seatbelts a little bit. But, the thing about this Tower card here is that you can't really avoid these situations, these sort of provocative situations. You walk into a room and the situation is upon you, or you wake up and whatever communication comes in, or whatever event happens, and it's upon you. And it does make you uncomfortable, but at the same time as feeling uncomfortable, it can feel, oh, it's an enlightenment. I feel set free. Let's pull a pop star card to put the icing on the cake of our reading. I have a funny pack of pop star cards that someone gave us for Christmas. Because, if you can't trust the pop stars, who can you trust? Just one we need, just one. Deep breath. And it's Otis Redding, ladies and gentlemen. Okay, so what do we remember Otis Redding for? Well, Sitting on the Dock of the Bay. He's one of the greatest singer-songwriters of soul ever. And I'm just looking at the words here, and they're really nice. He says, I left my home in Georgia, headed for the Frisco Bay. I've had nothing to live for. Looks like nothing's going to come my way. So then he says, I'm just sitting on the dock of the bay, wasting time. Look like nothing's going to change. Everything still remains the same. I can't do what 10 people tell me to do. So I guess I'll remain the same. Sitting here resting my bones, and this loneliness won't leave me alone. It's 2,000 miles I roamed just to make this dock my home. Now I'm just going to sit at the dock of the bay, watching the tide roll away, sitting on the dock of the bay, wasting time. So what I get from that is a little bit of letting go of this sort of feeling of being compelled to succeed and compelled to perform and just compelled to make sense of everything. It's exhausting, isn't it? It's just exhausting to get it right all the time. I think we live in a time when there's a lot of uncertainty, and maybe there's a voice in the air shouting to us to get ourselves together, get our heads together, get our lives together, make sense of what's going on and survive. So, yeah. You can also just sit on the dock of the bay and waste time if you want. Okay. I'll be back next week with more of this stuff, and I wish you a lovely February. Do 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 do. You have been watching Robert Farrar's Tea and Tara, and I'll see you next week with more of this stuff. Bye.